What's poppin', people? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I hope you're doing well. Really do hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea News, the daily show here on the channel. Today, Nico Williams being targeted by Chelsea. Ooh, what could that mean? And also, German publication Bild saying, could Tuchel come back to Chelsea? He would like to come back to Chelsea. Would Bowley have him back? So many questions, but do we have the answers? We'll find out. Thanks for joining me today here on Football Therapy. If you want to show your sweet love and support, you're welcome to simply by liking and subscribing to this channel, Football Therapy. And before we get into the juicy content, take a moment and listen to this. Yes, sir, this video is brought to you by my partner, Surfshark. If you don't know, then you better know. Surfshark is the best virtual private network, that's right, VPN, out there in the world of the internet. I use it on the daily, and you can too. And if you are yet to get yourself a VPN, or even if it's about time you upgrade to a better VPN, boy, do I have the offer for you. As usual, I want to offer you a quick reminder why a VPN is important. It protects you on the internet by moving your internet's location to somewhere else in the world that you choose. Surfshark has an incredible amount of available servers in different countries for you to choose from, and it's super easy to use as well. Data pirates won't be able to find you when you're using Surfshark as a VPN because they won't know where you are. Therefore, you can protect your data better. It's not just about security, it's about making your internet life better, watching more entertainment, unlocking previously locked media because you live in the wrong country. Just take a couple of seconds, use Surfshark to move over to that country, and then they'll be like, oh, he's in our country. Yeah, man, watch the content. Isn't that fun, sneaky, and yes, very easy. And it's not just about opening one piece of locked content, it's about giving you the opportunity to watch entirely new libraries of media, like Netflix. I use Surfshark to protect myself on the internet, but I always use it as well to open up different Netflix libraries. I often move from the UK to the USA's Netflix, and suddenly, so many more different TV shows and movies are available to me. It's ruddy wicked. Yes, you're right, you should be using a VPN and you should be using Surfshark. And fortunately for you, when you use my code FOOTBALL, you get 3 months free! That's right, multiple months free when you use my code FOOTBALL on Surfshark, or simply click the link in the top of the description to go utilize and take advantage of this wonderful offer now. Ding! Wonderful and superb scenes. Now that housework's out the way, let's get into today's content, starting with an article from The Telegraph written by Matt Law regarding Nico Williams. Athletic Bilbao star Nico Williams is on Chelsea's radar as the club begin to draw up their plans for the summer transfer window. Although an out-and-out striker will be Chelsea's priority, with Victor Osimhen and Benjamin Sesko among their top targets, the club have been impressed by the progress of winger Williams. Given how expensive a striker will be, a move for Williams may depend on how successfully Chelsea can create funds by selling players, of course. The 21-year-old has a release clause in his Bilbao contract set around 43 million quid, which is relatively affordable, but his wages are said to be expensive. It's believed that Williams earns well over £100,000 a week after tax in Spain, which would place him among Chelsea's highest earners. Pause. Very exciting off the bat. Nico Williams is a very experienced and productive, despite being very young, winger, so that's exciting. A lot of your football nerds out there are getting very excited with the prospect of Chelsea signing this player. We'll talk about ramifications with Mudryk and Sterling in just a moment, but it does shock me to hear he's on over £100,000, not euros. Well, the pound's not that strong anymore. But still, 100k a week after tax at Athletic Bilbao. Where are they getting all these P's from? And yes, Chelsea don't pay that much money to players anymore, so that does present a problem. A move for Williams would also place a question mark among the long-term futures for Raheem Sterling and possibly Mykhailo Mudryk. Although he can play on either flank, Williams often starts on the left, which is where both Sterling and Mudryk mostly play. Although the Ukrainian was recently deployed as a number 10 by head coach Mauricio Pochettino. There is no suggestion Chelsea are looking to offload either Sterling or Mudryk this summer, and both players remain committed to the club. Sterling was the subject of an approach from Saudi Arabia last summer and may get another offer this year. He was not interested in the move last year, and there's no indication that there will be also this time around. As reported by the Telegraph Sport, Chelsea's rivals believe they need to raise at least £100 million by June the 30th to be sure of complying with the profit and sustainability rules. A figure that the Blues refute, but personally I think we could get that anyway. Williams is enjoying a superb season for Bilbao, which has attracted a host of clubs, with Arsenal also being linked to the player, and he signed a new contract in December last year. But the deal, which saw his release clause remain the same, is not expected to stop clubs from bidding for him in this summer. Ooh, interesting. Of course, Nico Williams is a very, very exciting player that have a lot of clubs looking at him. Despite being younger than Mudryk, I think he's a year younger than Mudryk, he's way more accomplished as a left-sided winger, a player good to go. And to be honest, £43 million as a release clause is doable, especially if Chelsea get their house in order financially and believe they are safe and comfortable and get everything done by June the 30th. And Chelsea do believe that will be fine. Cole Palmer is about 41 million quid as well, similar price, and he looks excellent value. Now, I'm not saying that Nico Williams would have such a good effect as Cole Palmer, but there is a slot there open on the left-hand side. To be honest, if you take this season as a sample size looking at Chelsea's winger options, there's only one that is irrefutably excellent, and that is the aforementioned Cole Palmer, who of course recently won Young Player of the Year at the London Football Awards. We've seen Noni Madueke show signs of capability playing as a winger. Sterling's supposed to be the shining light senior player that's, by far the highest earner at the club, but he's just not been that. Look, man, I'm not a Sterling hater. I've seen all the good he's done in his career, both for England, of course, my country who I support, and Man City. He was for about 18 months, looked like the best winger in the world. He's got it in him. He's got well over 100 Premier League goals. He's consistent, and he's always fit, and he's always available without injury. Good. But the thing is with Sterling, he is frustrating, and my final analysis of Raheem Sterling is he's good in a good team. He's not the guy to make your team better and act as this leader on the pitch. He might be a leader off the pitch and good with the younger players, as everyone reports, and I think he's a really good guy. But at the money we're paying him, and in terms of the productivity we're seeing of late, it's not good enough. And yes, of course, you can make the case in his defence that if Chelsea were a better team and more functional, he'd do better. But he has to be a leader and help us. Now, of course, the young Nico Williams isn't going to be that guy, but at least you might get a little bit more Cole Palmer-y performance out of him. To be honest, the right-hand side, I think we're fine. Cole Palmer, I would keep Noni Madueke hanging around just to be his understudy and get better and better and better. Mudryk is not going anywhere, and we've seen him deployed as a number 10 under Pochettino. We might have a new coach in the summer. I think they'll look at Mudryk as this young player of such raw potential that a coach will feel like, I can make this work one way or another, whether it's a number 10 or on the left, or who knows, maybe a false 9. They might see that with Mudryk. But Sterling is a different story. He's going to be 30 next season, I believe, and I just feel at the money we're paying him and the productivity we're getting of late, if we could sell him, then it would be great. Look, I've said it a million times before, why should he agree to go? Because he's on great money, he's been away from London, his home, his whole career, of course, Liverpool and then Man City for years, and he's finally come home to London. He gets paid a wicked wage, he's round his family. I don't want to leave Chelsea, why do you want to sell me? Stumbling block there, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be really, really tough. Could you convince Raheem Sterling to take the bag and go to Saudi? Maybe would PSG sign Raheem Sterling? Is he better than Bradley Bakula on the left wing? Yeah, so for all of you people out there that think, yeah, just sell Sterling, it's not as easy as that, I'm afraid. By Nico Williams, you could have a starting left winger. And of course, the two old players in Chelsea's squad are Thiago Silva, who's not currently playing, and maybe his time at Chelsea is gently coming to an end. And of course, Raheem Sterling, who we're speaking about, who's 29, going to be turning 30. So you replace that 29-year-old with a 21-year-old in Nico Williams, and the kindergarten infant Chelsea gets even younger. Ugh. Still though, exciting. Imagine a front three of Nico Williams on the left, Cole Palmer on the right, and then maybe Osimhen, Jackson and Kunku up top, who knows, but the flanks are locked down. Look, I'd be quite excited by the idea of signing Nico Williams. Of course, he'd have other options as well, and the biggest stumbling block, it would seem here, is the wages. Maybe, just maybe, he'll do a Moises Caicedo and say, you know what, because I'm signing an 8-year deal here. And I do have a feeling Chelsea will still put new players on long-term deals Even if the amortization's capped at 5 years, I think the club and the ownership still see value in locking down assets for long-term deals. So maybe Nico will think, well, I've got, career financial security here for 8 years at, I don't know, £120,000 a week basic, but incentive-based bonuses, if we win this, if we win that, if I score this many goals, I can make a lot more money, etc., etc. And maybe in the future there'll be a scope for a pay rise. Of course, I'm speculating and doing guesswork here, but it is very, very interesting to see that Chelsea are looking at Nico Williams, and we could sign him in the summer, and maybe, hopefully replace Raheem Sterling with him. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. I'll be very keen to learn your thoughts on this, about how, if we could ever sell Raheem Sterling. Could Raheem Sterling be born again under a new coach under Chelsea? Should we get a new coach? Let me know in the comment section below, and let's move on and talk about Thomas Tuchel. Of course, this story is coming out of Bild from Germany, the big sort of sports newspaper. We all know Thomas Tuchel is going to be a free agent in just a few months' time, of course, stepping away from Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich, who managed to evade that nightmare result against Lazio yesterday. I think they got a 3-0 win at home to see them comfortably go through to the next round of the Champions League. Very interesting case indeed. I don't think Bayern Munich are in any way good enough to win the Champions League this season over like a Man City or even like an Arsenal. I personally can't see it. But, imagine if Tuchel won the Champions League again. That would be wild. So the German publication Bild is speaking about Tuchel. Of course, he's going to be a free agent, and how he's always loved Chelsea and he would be open to a return to Chelsea, though it would be up to Todd Boehly. Now, of course, there are stories that we've referenced here before, many a headline referencing the emails from his ex-wife, Simon Jordan's comments about the behind-the-scenes story that has probably people have signed NDAs. I'm assuming, I'm not reporting that it hasn't come out, but there is this idea of something happened and he just had to go. But beyond that as well, they didn't like working with each other. The ownership didn't like working with Tuchel. Tuchel didn't like working with the ownership. You wonder, maybe time apart, they've both reflected and Tuchel thinks, you know what, I could have worked better with them. And maybe the ownership, Clearlake and Boehly say, you know what, things haven't been so sweet since we sacked Thomas Tuchel. Me personally, I don't think Tuchel's a busted flush. I think he's an excellent coach, but I do feel like he personally is going through a bit of an interesting and turbulent period of his career, and I don't think bringing him back to this Chelsea side, though he really likes Chelsea, but he liked working with Abramovich, Marina and Petr Cech. Of course, they're all gone. Yes, I don't know. I don't think going back's ever smart. Of course, when you see, I did a video yesterday speaking about Ruben Amorim and how he plays a similar shape to Tuchel, but how tactically how he plays at Sporting wouldn't work at Chelsea. Now, of course, Chelsea, if they got Ruben Amorim as a new manager, he's not necessarily indefinitely going to be like, oh, I'm going to play exactly how we play at Sporting at Chelsea. He'd have to find a new way to play in the Premier League and with these players. Similarly with Tuchel, I don't know. I think Tuchel's tenure at Bayern Munich has been pretty disastrous, and that is tough. To go to the behemoth Bayern Munich and make them look bad is like some doing, especially when they just signed Harry Kane, who has just been amazing for them. Like that header yesterday in the Champions League, he's so good. But then again, I have no idea what the managerial solution is for Chelsea. It may still be Maurizio Pochettino, though it would feel like he has got a lot of work to do to win all the fans back and to prove to everyone who watches football that he is capable of building a winning machine. I don't know, man. Anyway, very interesting. It doesn't surprise me that Tuchel would like the idea of returning to Chelsea because he loved working and living in England and at Chelsea. And with all maybe the stuff that went wrong, and there was some stuff about players apparently as well in his time at Chelsea. Of course, we've had a massive turnover of players. It's all refreshed. One funny thing though is I've just been talking earlier in the video about how I feel Raheem Sterling's not really worked out, and I thought if we should probably try and sell him in the summer. Raheem Sterling was Thomas Tuchel's priority target. He was like, bring me Raheem Sterling. We'll talk about everything else afterwards, but I want Raheem Sterling. He was his number one target. So in some kind of multiverse, parallel universe where Tuchel does come back to Chelsea, he'll probably be like, keep Raheem Sterling. I'm going to start him in every game. So there would be that concern. Look, it's all a bit of a nonsense, really. I don't think Tuchel will come back. I don't think any ex-manager is going to come back, whether that be Jose Mourinho, Thomas Tuchel, or indeed Antonio Conte, who's a free agent. I think none of these guys will suit what we're trying to do at the club this moment. But who does? Again, in theory, Pochettino was the perfect choice. Where do we go from here? We'll see though. I'm going to stay with you all the way, so thanks for joining me today. If you want to join the community, do consider subscribing and hitting the bell. I'll thank you for liking and commenting. Do go check out Surfshark. Click the link in the top of the description to get that wonderful VPN deal now. And yeah, man, I'm out. Peace.